Hello, hello. This is Ceballos with Unleashed Consulting and your best boss, Take Five. Today, we're going to be giving you some things to think about when you need to have difficult conversations, challenging conversations with either your boss, your peer, or any of your direct reports. And this, by the way, is taken from one of our workshops at Unleashed Consulting. Happy to tell you some more about that. If you're interested, just give us a call or give me an email, and we'll be sure to give you all the details on this workshop and all the other workshops that we offer here. So when we're thinking about difficult conversations, the first thing that I want you to think about is to recognize the elephant in the room. So what do I mean by that? It means that oftentimes there are unspoken, undiscussables in the room, in the conversation, that need to be brought forward. They need to be highlighted and brought forward in order for the conversation really to have the kind of impact that we want it to have. So before you even get into the difficult conversation, really do some soul searching around what is it that's not being said here? What is it that's not being said? And then see if you can identify what those things are, bring them forward before you have the difficult conversation. So to say, I know we don't talk about it a lot, but I know that I feel a tension in the room every time that Mary comes in. So what does that mean? What are the implications about that? The idea is that you want to really start honing in on that muscle for yourself and for your people to say, I don't understand it, but I know it's true. I sense this elephant in the room, this undiscussable, this thing in the room. So that's number one. Make sure that you are taking stock of the elephants in the room. Number two, make sure that you are keeping an eye on the behaviors that can escalate conflict. Those kinds of things that you might see in yourself and in your people that really don't help bring conflict to the surface and then deal with it constructively to have those difficult conversations. So again, just like the elephant in the room, you want to be working on these things continuously for yourself and your team to really say what are some of the things that we're doing, that I'm doing, that we're doing that don't really help matters much. So one of the great ways of doing that that I would really encourage you to do, and that we do with all of our client interactions here at Unleashed Consulting, is to take stock of your sabotaging thinking, feeling, and behavior. So go to positiveintelligence.com and look for the saboteur assessment, and you can get a real sense of what your sabotaging thinking, feeling, and behaviors are, and that can really help for really getting a handle on how you may be unwittingly adding fuel to the fire. So that's number two, is keep an eye on those behaviors that escalate conflict. And number three is I want you to recognize that you always have a choice in how to have your difficult conversations. So the Kilman, if you're familiar with the Thomas and Kilman model for conflict, and if you're not, make sure that you Google it. But basically, it's the classic way of thinking about how we deal with conflict, saying that we have 5 choices when we're dealing with conflict. We can either compete, we can dig our feet in, that's competing, and say, I'm absolutely right. We can collaborate, right? We can work with each other. We can compromise, where both sides or all sides give in a little in order to work better together. We can accommodate, we can give way to whatever the counter argument is, and we can avoid. We can stick our head back in the sand if we want, right? So we have those 5 choices, and all of them are great choices, all of them, including avoiding. The problem is, or the challenge is to use them when they are to use the choice when it is most appropriate. So always remind yourself, which of these 5 choices makes the most sense for me? And you start thinking about things like, do I want to preserve the relationship, or is it more important that the task is performed? All of that goes into consideration. And in the workshop, by the way, the workshop that we provide on having difficult conversations, we go into each of these 5 styles in depth. So keep those 3 things in mind, and you will be well on your way to being able to have these difficult conversations productively, in a way that's just part and parcel of how you work together as a team and how you are as a best boss. All right, hoping that was helpful. This is Danny Ceballos with Others Consulting and your best boss take 5. We'll see you next time. Bye now.